Time to talk about Len Wein on The Amazing Spider-Man. This run goes from roughly issue 151 to 180, so 30 issues, 2.5 years, about that long. Not too bad. It is a decent run. It's not the most memorable, I will admit, but it is fun. It is good. I think it's a little bit on the wordy side. It's been a little while since I've read it, but this is the cover of his first issue, which is somewhat iconic. Let me see who does some of the art. I think it's Ross Andrew. I'm not really sure. Did this one issue with the Shocker. Love the Shocker. We got to give him credit anytime we can. I think he may have even started. Yeah, it says Ross Andrew, Mike Esposito, Frank Giacoa. I don't know. I'm not really good at pronouncing names. So I don't know if it's the best Ross Andrew art. I think maybe under Jerry Conway, I may have liked it a little bit more, but it's still good. Classic 70s comic booking. You do have issues where you see Dr. Octopus. I don't really remember what that story entailed, though, so I don't think it's like one of the more memorable ones. One thing that is interesting with this era of Spider-Man is the Punisher. The Jerry Conway video, Punisher is introduced, and I think he shows up in one other story in Jerry Conway's run there. But he returns here. These issues are probably some of the more expensive ones in the run now, just because it's like the fourth Punisher appearance. I am not enough of a Punisher aficionado to say if he was showing up in other books or not. I don't necessarily think so, but if you know otherwise, please correct me in the comments. What year would this have been? This would have been, I think, in the late 70s. I don't see the year on the covers. So I'm not 100% sure, but you do still get a lot of early Punisher in this era. So if you are a Punisher fan, it's definitely worthwhile. I think the thing that this run is most well known for is the Green Goblin saga with, spoiler alert, Dr. Bart Hamilton, if I got his name correctly. You think it's Harry, you're led to believe it's Harry. Turns out it was Harry's therapist all along. And he's just messing with Harry. I think that was what kind of the deal was. I think he tried to set up Harry, and that's an interesting way to continue Green Goblin in the comics. It's an interesting way to continue the Harry Green Goblin saga. So it's interesting. It's the third person to be one villain, and I don't believe that there had been really any other situations like that in Spider-Man yet. You did have two different Vultures by this point, and I think just two. I don't remember if that trio of Vultures had shown up yet. So that's a very interesting aspect of the saga, that you have once again a mystery of who is the Green Goblin, and it misdirected wasn't who you believed. What's also really interesting with that Green Goblin is that is a 5-issue arc, which is very unheard of for back then. Even these Punisher issues, it's like he's in these two. There's a few issues in between, I think. Although there might, yeah, maybe it's a little bit more. I don't know. There's this one issue with Kingpin in between, and then Punisher's there. So maybe they're all connected, but that is a little bit rare. You don't see that as often back then. But a 5-issue saga is really what this was. It is not the best Green Goblin saga. I think at this point you would still have to rank the death of Gwen, Harry's turn to the Green Goblin under Conway, the story where the Green Goblin has, like, he discovers Harry's on drugs in like the 90s late Stan Lee issue that didn't get the comic code stamp of approval. For shame. And they tried to sell that to children. Awful. Overall, I think the Len Wein run is good. I don't think it adds too much to the mythology, but I think that they are fun 70s Spider-Man stories, and I think those are very important. So if you are looking for that era of comic book storytelling, definitely check it out. Highs, like I said, definitely the Green Goblin saga that he tells. The lows, I can't think of anything really. Like, he did nothing to hurt the title as far as I remember. I don't really remember who the supporting cast was. Mary Jane had to have been around. It's been probably almost 20 years since I've read these issues, so I apologize I'm not the most brushed up. If you want to check out a comic book I wrote, Treasure of the Mystic Carts, you can get this in the TikTok shop. This is a $5 16-page preview of the upcoming graphic novel. These are going to be collector items. Galagoda spent his whole life hunting treasure, never really knowing what he was looking for until he met Isra Izul. Together they'll hunt down the legendary Crackle Daggers, a weapon powerful enough to cleave the land in two, but with a fascist cult after them and feral lagoon creatures around every turn. Nothing will go as planned. Will they save the day? Will they fall in love? Find out this and more. Look at the link in bio for all the information and get yourself a copy today. Great for kids and adults.